What's up, YouTube? Squall here, and today we are on Tier Maker making a ranking for the Resident Evil titles. Not all of them, but mainly the ones that are like part of the main story. So I'm excluding games like Outbreak and Dead. I mean, not almost said Dead Island, Dead Aim and Survivor. So we're just gonna be doing like 1 through 8, including the Revelation series, because I'm biased. I'm gonna be honest. Hella bias. So let's start things off, and we're gonna start all the way at the beginning. Okay, we're gonna start with Resident Evil 0. I'm gonna be honest. Okay, I love Resident Evil 0, but why do I love Resident Evil 0? For a first timer, this game is an absolute fucking nightmare. The very first segment is like the worst segment for any new person to play. Code Veronica has a similar issue. Oh shit, I actually just realized there's a lot more on here than what it needs to be. Anyways, regardless of that, I did a speed run for Resident Evil 0 that I ended up never uploading because I just didn't get the time that I wanted personally. But because of that, I have learned a lot of technical stuff about this game, and I'm gonna be honest, because of that, I'm gonna be a little biased and I'm gonna put it up here in A. If it wasn't for that, I'll definitely put it like down here C, because it's an okay game, but it's not like the best in the franchise in my opinion. But because of what I know about the game, I'm gonna put it here. Now, where are you old son of a bitch? Ah, there you are. Resident Evil 1, 1996. Do I need to explain myself? Like, do I really need to explain myself why it's up here in S? Do we really need to talk about why it's here? Because let's be honest, the only real problem with Resident Evil 1, 1996 is the dialogue. The voice acting is so bad in this game. But everything else about this game, phenomenal. And with that being said, I mean, actually, the remake of Resident Evil 1 does every single thing a remake should do and how a remake should be. With that being said, I'm not explaining myself any further than that, because this game, the best remake ever made. It's not even just like Resident Evil, but this is the best remake ever made in any fucking area. This does everything that a remake should do. Moving on, Resident Evil 2. Resident Evil 2 is one of my favorites. The original Resident Evil 2. That is a strong bias. This game has to go up here. I'm gonna put it up here. I'm gonna be honest. This is what you want for a sequel. This is exactly what you want for a sequel. I can't even, like, there's nothing else to say other than that. This is everything that a sequel should be and everything that a sequel could be. And Resident Evil 2 knocked it right out of the fucking park. But Resident Evil 2 Remake, excuse me, I'm just coming off a cold. I love it. Don't get me wrong, I love it. But there are some problems with this game. I'm gonna put it here in A. And my issue with this game is that, one, this game, okay, so look, it's not the fact that they have it over the shoulder or none of that. I think that part of the game is perfectly fine, and it doesn't change the core experience of Resident Evil 2. My problem with this game is how the remake had cut the entire second scenario out, like the entire A and B scenario out. There was an A scenario, and they took out the B scenario entirely. And the only reason why they put it back in was because we didn't shut the hell up about it. We bitched and moaned about it today. It's like, okay, all right, we get it. We're just gonna put it in and you guys will be happy. But they did it so poorly that I cannot put it where I want to put it, which is in S. I want to put it in S, but because of that, I gotta put it in A. Resident Evil 3, Nemesis. This is my favorite game. This is my second favorite game in the franchise. Everything about this game is perfect. Okay, from the decision-making skills that you will need in this game the interaction that you have with Nemesis, the fights that you have with Nemesis. Let's see, what else? The quick time events where you choose on how you want to handle Nemesis. Like, for example, the first time you meet him at the RPD, you can choose to either run inside the RPD, or you can choose to fight him right there in front of the RPD and you get a reward for it. And I very much love that aspect about Resident Evil 3. And with that being said, I really wish that fucking Resident Evil 3 remake actually did those things. This game is great, but very disappointing, just like with Resident Evil 2. But I still like it more than Resident Evil 2. Honestly, I'm gonna put Resident Evil 3 here. I think Resident Evil 0 is gonna be back here, because I would go back and play these two games. This game, I go back and play it like ever so often. So I'm gonna put it a little bit further down. Okay. God damn it. I need to drink something after this, because this is where all the hate is. Resident Evil 4. OG Resident Evil 4. I do not feel the same way everybody else feels about it. When I first played it, I did like it. Didn't love it, but I did like it to a degree. My main issues with the original RE4 was that Leon felt more like Dante. Even though this game like came out first, like when Dante came out, I was like, man, Dante and Leon are like brothers damn near. Leon feels a lot like Dante. The game feels confused, I'll say. This is like a problem that like this entire era of like Resident Evil had, where it just kind of felt like it was confused on what exactly it wanted to do. But because of the money that they was making, they was like, well, we gotta do this, but we also want to try to keep like the core gameplay and ideas for Resident Evil in these games. And honestly, Resident Evil 4 for me just kind of falls apart after the village segment. I have said this so many times, and because of that, I'm sorry, I just can't. I don't think it's the masterpiece. I don't think it's the game that everyone like is so excited and happy about. But Resident Evil 4 remake, I mean, we can put that bitch right there, you know what I'm saying? This game does not feel confused at all. This improved on like some of the segments that I hated the most, then improved on all of them, just some of them. There are some segments in Resident Evil 4 remake that I still strongly dislike, and it's not as bad. Well, okay, let me pull out this. I want to say it's not as bad, but the castle segment is better. It's infinitely improved. The military base is more or less the same, but they did add new segments to it that I personally love. But the rest of it, that's like almost one-for-one copy from the original, I still hate that part of the game. But yeah, other than that, I feel more strongly with Resident Evil 4 Remake than I ever could with the original Resident Evil 4. And I personally just love this one far more than that one. With that being said, wait. Why do I even have this on? I don't need it. With that being said, I'm probably gonna get shot for this one, but Resident Evil 5. Hear me out. Hear me out, okay? Resident Evil 5 is kind of fucking... It did stray away from like the original games to an extent. I forgot one. I should have did this one before this, but Resident Evil 5 did stray even further away from what Resident Evil 4 did, and I think that's just genuinely because of what happened during that time. What I mean by that is that Resident Evil 1 Remake did not sell all that well, and that led to Resident Evil 4 being changed drastically and Resident Evil 5 being what it is. And Resident Evil 1 Remake, not selling that strongly, really kicked off the whole action horror of Resident Evil, which is unfortunate. But you know, Resident Evil 5 is fun, man. I think I have it this high up though because of the co-op. I think that's why I have it this far up, is because of co-op. Because Sheva, not the best AI partner you can have. But yeah, I really do love this game. I would definitely play this game a hell of a lot more often. In fact, I want to play this game with Tasi, who you guys will see like on stream sometimes with me. You know, playing Call of Duty. We are both like very into Resident Evil, and that's how we met. So I definitely want to play some of the co-op ones with her. But this is a very fun game. And then on top of that, the DLC for this game is really good. Like, Lost in Nightmares is easily the best DLC that any Resident Evil has ever had in the history of Resident Evil. There isn't like another secondary campaign that I feel in any Resident Evil title that is as good as fucking Lost in Nightmares. Even though like it's this DLC and it's super short and I wish it was longer and blah 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 blah. Resident Evil 5 is staying where the fuck is at. In fact, let me move it here. Code Veronica. I love this game, but this game is also a piece of shit. This game is probably the most I have ever struggled with a Resident Evil title. I'm talking about like first time playthrough, and I don't think there is another Resident Evil game that is as unforgiving other than Resident Evil 0. I think both of those games are super unforgiving, but once you understand Code Veronica, it is fun. And it is pretty long too. I think the length of the game is the thing that really throws me off from this game, because it gets to a certain point where you're like, shit, this is still going. And the answer is yes. Yes, it actually is. So yeah, we're gonna put Code Veronica there. We're gonna move on to Revelations 1. You know, I think it's only fair. Revelations 1 was the game that came in during the action horror era of Resident Evil, and this one was more survival horror. And I still very much love this game. This is still one of my favorites from like the side stuff, because you know it's not really like a numbered title. But again, like I said, I'm adding both of these games because I have a bias, and I'm putting them both in S because both of those games are very fucking good. And I really wish more people played it. I really wish more people talked about it. I really wish people made more videos about it. But Revelations 1 and 2 are fucking phenomenal games. Where are we now? Resident Evil 6. Oh god. I thought I was gonna get hate for Resident Evil 4, but I know I'm gonna get hate for Resident Evil 6. God damn. Okay. Resident Evil 6. Everything about this game's story is a fucking mess. But I understand why. Okay? I understand why. I feel that Resident Evil 6 was meant to be a love letter for the franchise, kind of like how, you know, Final Fantasy 14 is, but they did not have a good idea on how to make that work. And I say this because Leon campaign starts off as Resident Evil 2, ends up being Resident Evil 4. Chris's campaign, Resident Evil 5. Jay's campaign, Resident Evil 3. And Ada, they just make Ada do what Ada does, you know, what she does in Resident Evil 4 OG and what she will more than likely do in Resident Evil 4 remake. However, and this is the part where I'm gonna probably get a lot of hate for it, Resident Evil 6 has the best gameplay of any Resident Evil within that era of Resident Evil. And it had the best multiplayer experience. In fact, I think Capcom needs to look back at Resident Evil 6 for their multiplayer stuff when it comes down to Resident Evil, because we have had multiple games that have multiplayer stuff in it. You know, Resident Evil 5 had multiplayer stuff in it, multiplayer stuff in it. Operation Raccoon City had multiplayer stuff in it. Umbrella Corps, RE-Verse, the RE title that came with Resident Evil 3. So yeah, this actually had the best. It had Mercenaries, it had a versus mode, it had Onslaught, it had Agent Hunt, it had a ton of stuff in this game for the multiplayer side, and I think that's what they need to do. Don't get me wrong, but it feels like when it comes down to RE-Verse and Umbrella Corps and the RE title that came with RE3, that they just like throw it out there and just kind of be like, well, it's there, go play it, and just kind of leave it at that. And I think that's the worst thing that they could fucking do. But because of that, I'm gonna put it back here at the end of fucking A, because yes, the gameplay is carrying this up there. The gameplay alone is carrying this up there, and the multiplayer experience, honestly, for me personally. Now, Resident Evil 7. Resident Evil 7, I want to put an S, but I won't. And then you're gonna ask, well, Squall, why is that? Enemy variety. Enemy variety is the reason why it won't be an S. It's the main reason why it won't be an S. Other than that, everything else about Resident Evil 7, absolutely fucking fantastic. I don't think I can really talk too much about it without like going into like a reviewer type of thing, but from the moody atmosphere, from the Bakers to Evelyn, just everything about this game was really fucking good, except for the enemy variety. The main, I mean, like the Baker's estate or the Baker's house or whatever it is, it's, well, the house is more like a mansion, but isn't it a plantation? Actually, hold on, wait a minute. These motherfuckers might be racist, but you know, we gotta move beyond that. The plantation, or it's definitely not an estate. It couldn't be an estate. It has a guest. Well, I mean, technically, because the Spencer estate had a guest house as well. But yeah, fuck it. We're gonna go with the Baker's estate. It feels very similar to the Spencer estate. It's designed very well. I mean, oh my gosh, man, everything about this game is fucking perfect, damn near, okay? Everything about this game is perfect. We're gonna leave it at that, and then we're gonna put Resident Evil 8 right here. Actually, we're gonna put it right here. Now, the reason for that is because Resident Evil 8, in my opinion, is just a better OG Resident Evil 4, in my opinion. I really do like this game. I don't have many issues with this game, honestly, except for the only problem that I do have is House Beneviento. Fuck you guys. I wish that segment was longer. I definitely wish that segment was longer. That segment was a little too small, in my opinion. But I think the other guy is Mordo. Maybe? I can't remember. He's like super forgettable. I kind of wish that they made his segment a lot better. Lady Dimitrescu is fucking perfect. I love the castle. And I definitely love Nick Cage. I love his segment pretty much. And the final segment of the game is actually very strong as well. I just really wish that fucking Capcom didn't have like this weird obsession with Ethan's face being hidden all the time. Like, they have like this weird fetish about hiding his face and cutting off his hands. But other than that, you know, I really did like Resident Evil 8. It's definitely one of those games that I did go back and play a lot. Almost as much as actually the remake of Resident Evil 1. Now that I'm thinking about it, I played this game damn near too fucking much. And it's definitely one of the games that I do want to speed run at some point, but I gotta get through like Resident Evil 4. I've been playing the shit out of Resident Evil 4 remake, to the point that even now I'm starting to like I'm starting to like follow the route for the professional speed run, which we'll probably do at some point. Once I figure that out, I'll let you guys know. But yeah, this is the fucking list. This is my tier list personally. If you like it, cool. If you don't, fight me about it, man. I dare you. You ain't gonna fight me about this. You ain't got it in you. I see it in your eyes. You're not man enough. You're not strong enough. Alright, I'm joking. I'm joking. But yeah, this is how I would rank it currently. It may change, but if it does change, I'll let you guys know. But thank you guys for watching the video. If you guys have anything that you want to say about it, you know, go ahead, let me know in the comments down below. I know I'm gonna get a lot of shit for putting Resident Evil 4 here, so bring it the fuck on, because I'm ready for you, okay? And I've been ready for you since this game has released. So yeah, bring it. Anyways, again, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.